Good afternoon, October the 16th, 2015. Time to wrap up our trading for the day. We came in today on the E-mini saying the easiest trade to see was failure to take out 20 to 24. And we've got this high right here. We had hoped to buy really cheap down at 2000, 2005, but 15 held when we didn't break it early on. So we had a 15 minus market that we talked about in the middle of the day, a 25 plus market. And that's pretty much what worked out. This morning we said the market would close at 2000 or 2020 due to options expiration. And it looks like our call of 2020. In fact, on the last update we said if the 10 to 12 area holds, we got a pretty good chance of closing this at 20. Once again, so the analysis is pretty good. The trades that work, V-top, very difficult to make more than two handles today. A couple of trades that we talked through this morning, two handles is it. Off of this B right here, small winner, little head and shoulders pattern right here, small winner, V bottom, pretty nice trade here. Retest failure, scratch when you get down to it. A B right here, a loser. Retest failure, a little 3-bar pattern, a plus, another little 3-bar pattern up here. Retest failure, that was a nice trade. Terminal chop over lunch. Get a chance to go for stops beneath the market. They go, and then the market stopped in our 10 to 12 area. Had a low volume number for 30 days at 1350. But why did it stop in the 10? And we pointed this out on the F2 screen on the last update. Always pays to keep in mind where structure is. And we pointed out this area right here. A double print in the M period. This area right in here had a pretty good chance. We had 9 to 11, 9 to 12 would have a pretty good chance of holding up, and it did. So we're going to put the profile back together, and we have ourselves a P. Definitely put in backwards. And that means we looked at long liquidation. And that's where we find ourselves today right now. I'm going to go back and I'm going to change this to 0.5. And then we'll go change the indicators to 2. And we'll make that 50. See what this looks like. And you can see how thin the volume is up here. So let's take it down to, on the indicator, we'll make it 20,000. I went the wrong way on that. But you can see there's just this 31 area, this 25 area, all the way up to 33. There's not a lot of volume there, and that's the low volume area that's holding the market in check right now. The biggest dynamic, and we've talked about it for about 3 weeks right now, is that the New York Stock Exchange open short interest is as high as it's been since 2008. So a short squeeze, bad economic news. Fed may even have to do QE4 is what's taking the market higher. So when we look at today's trading on F1, higher low, higher high favors buying weakness to see if we can extend the range and take it higher. Looking at the F2 screen, we had a P put in backwards. That's long liquidation. Early in the session, when we get our tail late in the session where market's still in there. So this 10 to 12 area is really pretty good support, as is 25 as resistance. So if the market closes right now, what we want to do is sell failure to take out 24, 25. That is the easiest trade to see. And the next short would jump up 30, 35. We'd pick up this low volume number at 31.25 right there for sell 2. The news on Monday is housing market index. The support area, last rotate down, stopped at 17.5, so 10 to 15 will be buy 1. maybe 15 plus or minus. and then 2,000 to 5 will be buy 2. And that's it for the E-mini. Very little in the way of news. So what the market will be looking at will be the international news, what happened over the weekend. And there's not a lot of economic announcements out of any country over the weekends or on Monday mornings. Most of the news is Tuesday through Friday, when the markets are open and fully trading and you've got the liquidity and you don't have people scratching their head, it's Monday, what in the hell am I supposed to do today? In fact, a lot of times on Mondays it takes a couple of hours for the market to make up its mind which way it's going to move. You know, it's funny, the irony is this morning we talked about what a big factor that might take the stock market up on option expiration was the fact that Zero Hedge published that article. And again, the market doesn't do what the consensus or what most people think it'll do at that moment in time. It will over time, but on any given moment or minute or hour, it does what it does. And we all hate it when it does that, if you know what I mean. You know, it's funny, we bring a mathematical precision because we can compute to the 10th or 100th decimal point, and we can study the market, we can bring all these studies in, and we can go back and we can calculate the percentage correct and all this good stuff. But then it has to happen. And over the long haul, if you've designed your studies right and your methodology correctly, it will happen in the macro sense. But in the micro or on any single trade, it doesn't have to happen. And that's what drives us crazy. Lower high, lower low on the financials, treasuries. Look for a place to sell it on Monday. And we definitely have ourselves a B, and in C period we got ourselves a move out of the middle. If we put this all together, this would be the correct arrangement of the distribution. So we're dealing with a B, we're looking for a place to sell it. Last rotate up, and K period stopped at 3.5, M period stopped at 1.5, and we're currently at 30 and we're pointed lower, so we'll make sell 1 31 to 03. That's very, very aggressive. They need a little help from the stock market for that to happen. Equities 7 to 11 will be sell 2. On the buy side, we've got volume down at 26.5, 29. We've got all of this volume in this area. So again, we're going to start out trying to buy 21s to 25s. Might take a 29 to get in. A lot of it's just dependent on what the E-mini does over the weekend, and then 13 to 17 for buy 2. Hope you all have a interesting weekends planned. It's going to be fall-like weather for us. I think it's supposed to be in the low Sundays. The temperature's going to creep back up over the weekend, which will make for a very, very nice weekend. I don't have to worry about Tennessee getting whipped this weekend. Play Alabama next weekend. Won't waste a lot of effort or energy trying to figure out how they're going to beat Alabama. It's hard to do. We're not there yet. We've got, if everything falls in place, we can do it, but usually the bigger, stronger, faster team wins, and Alabama's all three of those. We do have a quarterback who can almost pass but can definitely run, and that's probably the worst situation for Alabama to find themselves in, a quarterback that can run. Okay, pretty rounded distribution on the 30-year. I'm going to click right here in the middle. Market is starting down in L period, so we know we have a seller basically at the buck. We're currently at 23, so it's very, very aggressive. Idea that maybe the stock market might rally. Would like to get it done as close as I can to the buck, but 27 to 31 will work for Globex, and then 7 to 11 for sell 2. And if the E-mini is headed lower, we do not want to be short. Getting stops below yesterday's lows looks pretty good. So we'll make 13 to 17, buy 1 with a question mark at 21. I think the first trade is a short if the E-mini is sideways to higher. And then we'll make it 1 to 5 for buy 2. Okay, with all the unrest around the world and now the Obama administration, I can't imagine that Obama will take China on in the South China Seas as he's let all this go on, let all this bluster, all this talk. And I mean, China just rolls over us. Every country in the world rolls us these days. And to imagine him taking a stand where somebody might fire shots and take him away from his mission in life, it's hard to believe. Could happen. I mean, it's there. It's on the table. At some point, China's bluff will have to be called. This would be a good time to do it, but I don't think anybody will pay a lot of attention to this guy. Okay, we got buyers at 74. We've got it's okay to sell above 85. We just touched it in B period today. This entire P is holding. We said we needed volume in this area right here, and that's basically what we're doing today. So buying the 75 area, selling the 75 area is what this structure tells you above it, especially above 87. So right here, 84.86, sell 1. 89.91, sell 2. Give it a little bit of room on the buy side. 74.76, buy 1. Then 69.71, buy 2. Looking at crude, I think with what's going on in the Middle East, Aleppo is supposedly under attack right now by the Russians and Syrians and Iranians. Talk about a puppet or a figurehead. Long-term, strategically, this is a catastrophe for the world. If you think OPEC drove a hard bargain on prices and the rest of it, what do you see what Russia and Iran will do now? One of the mitigating things there is the alliance with China. China doesn't like higher oil prices, so be interesting to see how it plays out. Lower high, higher low, higher high. Find a place to buy it. Convergence will start on Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday. The new front contract usually trades plus 50, and it has. So we're looking for a place to buy it. On our F2 screen, basically selling 48, so it is pointed higher. 48 and a quarter, sell 1. You got stops over here above 48.50, so 48.75, 49, sell 2. On the buy side, 47 and a quarter, buy 1, and then 46.50, 46 and a quarter, buy 2. That'll take them just outside of these areas right here in the hunt for stops. And that's a big part of what exchange members do. They go fleece the lambs. That's us, by gunning stops. And last but not least, the euro. If 115 is resistance now, then 112, 113 is where we expect support. The euro usually trades 2 to 3 points. So we're at 1371 last. The high's 15, double top there. So either 12, which is the high volume number, which is where I would expect it to get given a little bit of time, especially if China does not devalue the yuan anytime. So I think the trade, we're headed for 112 right now. Looking at today's action. On a one-day basis, it's leaning P. Pretty square distribution if I put it together. Definitely a B with volume and time match, definitely pointed lower. So I like the short side. Last rotate up an M stopped at 87. So we had a 1390, 1400 sell. Looks pretty good to me. Then 25 to 35. On the buy side, 1351. I put a question mark at buy it. It's buy one. And then 1315, 1325, buy two. And that's it for October the 16th, 2015. I hope y'all have a great weekend. May all your football teams win. May you have a great time out of doors. Hopefully the weather will cooperate for you. I hear there's a big cool down from Michigan all the way to the East Coast, so it is that time of year. With that said, I am out of here.